Hello and welcome to another episode. Today, you may be wondering, how do I convert more buyer leads? They're coming in online. Other people are converting them. How do I do it? Well, if you're ready, let's get it. All right. So, again, I don't know if you know, but my name is Sean Calhoun. And today I have with me
I'm Christina Calhoun.
my lovely wife, as usual. Thanks for being on my side. So, what are we talking about? Converting buyer leads. Okay. So let's get right into it. A lot of times, a lead will, if you haven't experienced this yet, you're going to have a buyer lead. Well, let me preface this. I do have to preface this. If you are not into sales, you might want to stop watching this video right now because some of the things that I'm going to say may be offensive to you. If you are into sales and you want to climb to the top, okay, and you want to close more deals, then you should listen to the very end because we're going to give you exactly what you need to understand and do in order to convert these buyer leads. Okay. All right. That's out of the way. So let's get it. The number one thing you have to do if you want to convert more leads is understand the buying cycle, the house buying cycle for someone who is a house buyer. Okay. You have to understand the cycle. A lot of times we don't understand what's going on. We're like, man, these leads are bad. They're bogus. They're coming through. They're not ready to buy. We need to understand the cycle. And what do I mean by cycle? All right, to illustrate, there is a process when you buy a car. Okay. So the first process, let's just say the thought pops into your mind that I need to buy a car. Now, why does that thought pop into your mind? What are some reasons, Christina, why that thought might pop into your mind to buy a car?
Well, I know with me, every time I go to the auto show and see that shiny new edition,
Uh oh.
it's like, oh, look at that. I want
Might not have to go to the auto show as much. That's right. That's right. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a agent. Well, she's not an agent yet. She's actually in training to get her license in Georgia. Big shout outs to Chris. We had the same discussion. And I asked her, I said, why did you buy your last car? What happened? She said, I love my car. But I was driving and I saw a new version of my car. She said, now my car was 3 years old and I had paid it down pretty good. It was almost paid off. And I decided I'm going to get that car. That thing looks sweet. So she saw it. So a lot of times there could be advertisements, okay, of that car. What are some other reasons why someone might buy a car? They might think of buying a car.
Well, their current car may start having problems. And
That's
you're
right.
like, ugh, it's time to get a new car.
That's right. I'm not investing another dime. What else? Give me some more.
It could be that maybe you need something bigger.
Right. Family's growing, need something bigger. A lot of reasons, right? But there is something that piques it. When that thought comes into your mind, what is that called? What do we call that? Stage.
In the buying process, that's stage number one, and that's awareness.
That's right. You are aware, okay? You are aware that, hey, I need a car. All right. So the next thing, okay? I'm aware. Then what? What kind of happens next? What do I do? I know I need a car. What's the next thing I do?
You're going online and you're considering your options.
That's right. That's right. I'm online. I'm like, wow. Now, I may say, well, before I look at this car, let me see what else is out there. Right.
Mhm.
I want to get this car. I know I like it. I saw it, but hey, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well look now. Right. So I'm looking at different, maybe makes, different models. I'm just kind of browsing. What is that stage called?
That's consideration.
That's consideration. Just considering my options. I'm just looking around. What's the next step in the process? So we've hit two.
Number 3 is interest. So now you've found, "Ooh, this is the one I'm most interested in."
I'm more interested in this. Then what? What's the next step?
Number 4 has to do with you're making your final preference, your selection.
Okay.
So you've narrowed it down.
Right. So you might say, hey, this is the make, this is the model. And I'll give you the example again with the car. And this is what the conversation that we just had. So I asked her, I said, so what did you do? She went online, she looked at the vehicle, and then she found it, the make, the model she liked, but she was only seeing it online. She wanted to see it in person. So she went to the dealership to see it. I want to see it. So she could see it. I want to see all the angles. I want to see if I really like it. I want to sit in it. I want to touch the steering wheel, see the different trim options in person. Okay, so that was that step. And then what's the last step?
The last step is when you finally make that purchase.
That's right. That is the last step when you purchase. You have money in hand or you have a loan, you're financing ready to go. I'm ready to get this car and you roll off the lot or wherever in that car. That's the five steps. Now, you may have went through that process before. Now, why is it so important to understand this process? Well, because in real estate, when a person wants to buy a home, we're talking about from step one, where it's aware, to this step where they are pre approved and ready to buy a home. You have to figure out where they are in the process, okay, when they call, where they are in the process, and then help them to get here or disqualify them and not work with them. Okay. And not work with them. Yes, you can disqualify people. You can say, this person I cannot work with. Okay. So let's go back a little bit. Now, in the real estate process, let's say awareness. Why would someone be aware that they want a new home? What are some of the major reasons? We hear this, we do this daily.
A big one is, you know what? My rent just went up again. I'm tired of paying so much or it changing. I'm ready to buy a house so that I'm actually investing in my own property and I don't have to deal with this fluctuating rent situation.
That's right. You have people paying high rent. They know they can purchase a home. It's a better investment, like Christina said. That's a big one. Another one, just like that car, is I see this neighborhood. It's beautiful, and I want my family to live here. This is where I want us to live. It may be a step up, it may be a dream home. That's another reason. Another reason, we need to step down. This house is too big. I want a condo. I want something on one level. Okay. There are a lot of reasons that come into a person's mind. And again, what's that step called?
Awareness.
Awareness. That's right. So that's the first step. Okay. Now think about it. If someone just becomes aware of this need, and then what do they do next?
Usually they start looking online, considering where they want to live.
That's right. They may go online, they may drive a neighborhood, they may have saw a neighborhood, but they start looking and searching. That's when you or I may come across them.
Mhm.
You may come across them in this awareness stage
Or consideration
or
stage.
consideration. Okay, that's right. The next stage, consideration. It came in my mind. Now I'm in consideration. So if you were to say, you know, to yourself. If someone was to say to you when you were just considering a vehicle, "Hey, you want to buy this car? This car?" Whoa, you're not ready. Okay. If you want to convert them, you need to understand where they are. You need to identify where they are. So number one is understanding. Okay. We'll talk about later how to identify them as far as what you should do. But number one, to convert them, you got to understand.
Mhm.
Okay. So, what is the next step in the home buying process, the cycle?
So now they've done some searching online and they found a home that they're interested in
Mhm, mhm. Now, I
or
know
an area that they're interested
that's
in.
right. Normally, these are the cities or this is the school district, this is the criteria. They've broken down more of this criteria, and they may even now be going out to look. However,
They're
they
not ready.
they're not at that point where they're ready. They're still okay, so what's the next step?
The next step is preference. This is when they've narrowed it down and they're like, I want to see this house in person
Mhm.
and potentially put in an offer.
Now, during that preference area, now they know they may want to get pre-approved because they know the pre-approval process, or you may educate them to know that the pre-approval process, this pre-approval may only last for 30 days, or maybe they can lock it in for 60 or 90. But you're going to educate them. They're going to find this out. Hopefully, you are educating them, right? So that they will know in this part of the process. Okay, what's next?
Now they're ready to purchase.
Ready to purchase, ready to buy. So this is it. You need to understand where they are and help them to get to the next step in the process. Now, something else that's very important to know. Every single industry in this buying cycle has a timeline. Now, everyone's not the same, right? Some people go faster, some people go slower. But there are laws of averages. The average time is 90 days through the full cycle. That's the average, okay? But we've had people come through much less, 30 days, 14 days, and we've had people take 8 years, maybe 8.5 years, okay? That is very rare, okay? But we have, okay? If you plan on doing this as a career, in 8 years, you're gonna want a person that's going to help you, right? That's gonna come to you. And during that 8 years, they're probably gonna send a bunch of people to you. That's what happened for us with this particular client. However, in the meantime, we have serviced many, many, many others, and we have not serviced some. So, in our next training portion of converting the leads, we're going to show you now that you understand the buying cycle, you understand the timeline, we're going to show you what to say, how to convert them even further for the maximum amount of closings. We hope you've gotten a lot of value from this. Please go to prettyhomeacademy.com to see more videos, maybe part two of this. If you're not watching it at this moment, you can see part two. And then also you can go to prettyhomerealty.com if you're not a salesperson and you want to maybe buy a home or get educated on how to buy a home or sell your home. Thanks for watching.
All right. Next time we'll catch up.
Let's get it.